First of all, I would just want to congratulate Tom Brady on a great career, amazing career. It's undoubtedly he's the best football player to ever play, at least quarterback. Some people might say Jerry Rice is the best player to ever play. You could have that debate, but undoubtedly Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time. In my opinion, he's the best player of all time. And what a career, man. Honestly, I thought this man was never going to retire. When Adam Schefter reported that he was retiring early, I was one of those people that were like, damn, if he was thinking about retiring, if this was going to be Tom Brady's time to hang it up, Adam Schefter and others reporting that he was retiring early, that might be something that Tom Brady uses to fuel him, to incentivize him to come back, just to prove people wrong, just to add another chip to the many chips he already has on his shoulder. And I was like, okay, I could definitely see, like, if he was already gonna retire, like, I could see him coming back just to in spite, just because he didn't get to announce his retirement the way he wanted to. So I was like, I was kind of hopeful to see Tom Brady, especially because the NFC quarterbacks aren't that great right now. Most of them are in the AFC, so to have Tom Brady add a little parity, add a little, excitement to the NFC, it would help. A lot of people were saying he was going to stay with the Buccaneers or he was going to go with the 49ers. Both of those, in my opinion, sounded like a great idea. I would have welcomed both of them. But he did announce on Instagram, I think it was like a 6-page slide that said that was it. He was calling it a day. And I did think it was funny that he thanked everyone from the Buccaneers. He thanked a lot of people, but there was no mention of Bill Belichick. There was no mention of the Patriots. And that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. They were saying, like, how could you have 20 years with the Patriots and not mention them in your retirement, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't a speech because he didn't talk in your retirement post. But I think he's still a little salty. It makes sense. He's still a little salty that they didn't keep him, that they didn't give him the contract he wanted, that they didn't provide the weapons that he wanted. But, it is what it is. He did give him a nice message once he left them. So I think they'll be all right. And then afterwards, he did quote some of the Patriots stuff and said, thank you for the good times, or something along those lines. So I think everything's cool. A lot of people were calling him weak for being spiteful and for, not being the bigger man. But honestly, I had no problem with it. And if I do say so, I think this Tom Brady that we got to see with the Buccaneers, this Tom Brady that, is being a little spiteful towards the Patriots, I think that's helped me come around to becoming I wouldn't say a Tom Brady fan, but someone that actually like super respects him and appreciates what he did. I myself was probably a little spiteful towards Tom Brady, as I would imagine a lot of AFC teams, a lot of fans of AFC teams would be towards Tom Brady, with the dominance, with the stranglehold, with the gatekeeping that he had of Super Bowls, of Super Bowl appearances in the AFC. Like, basically, if you wanted to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC, you had to meet Tom Brady in the somewhere along the road in the playoffs, or in the AFC Championship game. You knew that the Patriots and Tom Brady were going to be there, and most of the time Tom Brady won. Most of the time the Patriots were representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. So I think it's natural for a young kid, a young pup like myself, growing up being a Chargers fans, to have a little spite to him, to feel resentment, to be like, damn, if it wasn't for this guy, if it wasn't for McCree dropping an interception, fumbling interception, Chargers could have maybe had an appearance, maybe even had a ring. I don't like you, Tom Brady. So, that's where that sentiment comes from. I think it's natural. I think there's other fan bases that, probably felt the same way. Didn't really like the guy. Didn't really like the Patriots. And once Tom Brady left to the Buccaneers, it was like, all right, you're not part of the Patriots. You're not part of that team that ruined our childhoods or adulthoods or whatever. So yeah, I think it was funny that he did that to the Patriots. I think it showed a human side of Tom Brady. He's a little spiteful. He still hasn't gotten over it. He probably still has a little bit of beef with the Patriots, and I think that's cool. That's fine. And but yeah, overall, Tom Brady, what a guy, man. 7 rings, 10 Super Bowl appearances. But there's nothing more. Most passing yards ever, most touchdowns ever, more playoff yards ever, more playoff touchdowns ever, most Super Bowl wins, most Super Bowl appearances. Like there's nothing else to be said about Tom Brady. You've heard it all before. I don't need to come up here and say list every Tom Brady accomplishment, because if I did, we could be here all day. We could be here all day. I just wanted to, give my 2 cents, show my appreciation for Tom Brady, give that man respect, and acknowledge that the NFL that we knew growing up, I'm 27 years old now, the NFL that we knew growing up is pretty much over. All the 2004 draft class quarterbacks, they're pretty much gone. 2001, 2000, Drew Brees, Brady's gone. I believe he was the 2000 class. That's it, man. Our childhood is getting towards its end. There's not a lot of players left. There's some kickers still chugging along, but for the most part, all the players that we grew up with, their careers are over. Tom Brady, the one that looked like he was gonna go forever, is calling it, and I think good for him, man. He's done a lot for the game. He's been the contrarian. He's been the common enemy number one for a lot of years, but I think every sport needs a bad guy per se, or someone to root against. If I could just wrap it back to something that I experienced a couple weeks ago when I went to a Sharks game. I mean, I'm by no means like a big Sharks fan. They're just a local team. They're in San Jose, and I was trying to get some chants going for the Sharks. I was trying to, get the atmosphere going, and no one was joining me. I was like, "Come on, let's go Sharks, let's go Sharks." No one was joining me, so I got kind of frustrated that no one was joining me. So I started rooting for the other team. I started rooting for the Rangers who were in town, just to, being a little spiteful that no one was joining my "Let's Go Shark" chants. And as soon as I started chanting for the Rangers, my section starts chanting "Let's Go Sharks, let's go Sharks." And I was just dumbfounded. I was like, why couldn't you guys join me when I was doing the "Let's Go Sharks" chant? Like, it could have been so much better if we're all just doing the "Let's Go Sharks" chants. But then I realized that, sometimes you need a contrarian. Sometimes you need an opposition to really get you going and to really, like, fully embrace supporting your team. That's I was like, whoa. And I think Tom Brady played that role to perfection his whole career. He was great, and you felt like you rooted more for your team when you were playing against the Patriots and Tom Brady. So, just something I wanted to say. Tom Brady, you're the GOAT, man. I hope you enjoy retirement. And if you want to pull a Favre and come back, you were an MVP finalist this year. You led the league in touchdowns and yards, I believe. So if anyone could do it, you could do it. I'm pretty sure you could play another 2-3 years still. You've taken great care of your body. That TB12 is amazing. But I've rambled for enough time. Tom Brady, I just hope you enjoy your retirement, and I appreciate and respect the great career you had in the NFL.